He doesn't like talking. He broods a lot. But when he decides, he's very funny. Today I hope to catch a glimpse into the mind of a man that my friend married, Ajay Devgan. Will I? Find out in a bit. Welcome to the show, Ajay.
Thank you, Niranjan.
Thank you for being here. You know, Ajay, it's been a very long career journey. It's been over 2 decades now that you've been in movies. And one can see that people who you came with are the same people who are still ruling the roost. Whether it is you, whether it is Salman, whether it is Shah Rukh. If somebody had to ask you what the secret was for such longevity, what would you say?
There is no secret, honestly speaking. I really feel that, this longevity, what you're talking about, can only come if you have some talent in you. Okay, otherwise I've seen a lot of stars come in, become like overnight, people start talking about them, they are the biggest, and like after 4 years you've forgotten about them. So I think the fact that all of us needed what is the most important is to perform. Also, people think that, becoming an actor or a hero or something is like just, you should be able to fight well or dance well or things like this and look good. But that doesn't last. What lasts is your performance, is the kind of variety of films you can do, and I think all of us can do that.
In the 90s, when you made your debut, the film industry was a different place altogether.
Exactly, completely different.
And then things changed, and they changed very fast also.
Yes.
Within the last 1 decade, things have changed as much as they
I think we are the lucky generation to see that change,
Yeah, correct. So, how do you modify yourself for the change?
You gradually adapt, in the sense, like an example, from little things of how shootings were done. I mean, we used to shoot 4 films in a day. 3 hours here, 3 hours there. We never used to remember when our releases, because there was no promotion. There was only one channel, that was the Doordarshan. There was 5 or 6 magazines whom we knew very well. So there was nothing like publicity and promotion, and we used to come to know after 2 weeks our film was released and has done well. Also, no makeup vans, no monitors where people go and sit today and watch if it's right or wrong. So it was all on instinct, and there was this carefree attitude. Gradually, obviously, when I talk about myself, as the first 5-6 years of my life, I also worked like a dog. 3, 4 shifts a day. Gradually, you don't realize when you change, because with change, with things changing, one day I also realized that I'm tired. I don't need to do this anymore. And I need to concentrate on decent work, do less work, and we started cutting down. I think it was a gradual process. It wasn't that we sat down and it was like, okay, let's plan our life. It wasn't like this. It just so happened, and we've seen that change in the industry. I mean, like the ones you're talking about, all of us, we were all very comfortable with each other. We still are. And so walk into anybody's set and, hold the shooting and have fun and this, that. So now it's become very, very professional. The new generation is very, very professional, which is a nice thing. And I would call all of us from my generation, kind of fools also, but in a good way. Because if me or Salman or anybody, if somebody comes up to them and says, do me this favor and do this part in the film, and we know it's not going to work and still we go ahead and do it for emotional reasons. But the new generation will never do it. So that's where I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying they're professional, which is very good. So there is, I would say that the industry is going for the better, become more professional, more corporate. But there's this, it's like the global warming, where the earth is suffering. So that warmth is gone.
The warmth is gone is what you feel.
Yes, that's what I feel.
But did you always want to become an actor, right from the beginning?
Honestly speaking, I was always a part of the industry in the sense because of my father, and I used to love learning the technique, and I was very fascinated with the camera. I could shoot myself and things like this. I used to make films at that point of time. I started editing when I was 11 years old with my father, and I was happy making films, and I was the one who was making films, and I was behind the camera, and I was the editor, director, cameraman, everything, and I used to take outside actors, and we all friends used to make films. So I was technically, my dad was too strong. So when he did films like Mr. India and all, where there were no special effects at that point of time, they used to do those CG shots without live. And then he used to come and tell me I did this. So the next day I used to shoot and tell him, you did it like this. So that's my growth. So I was more fascinated behind the camera. My dad wanted me to be an actor. I was also training for stunts and things like this because my dad has his own guys and he wanted me to, and I also wanted to somewhere. I was lazy also sometimes and I never used to. Yeah, and then I started assisting. I stood Deepak, Shekhar, and one day, and I used to go to college, and by 11:30, then I used to go for work. So it was like, it was very balanced. I was having a great time, great life, and one day I come home and Mr. Coca-Cola was sitting there, who's a friend of my father's, and he said that I'm making a film and I want you to do the film. I said, "Are you mad? I'm 18 years old and I'm having fun and I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing. So I'm not. I don't want to right now." So, but I don't know. It so happened that in a month I started shooting, and my attitude towards during that film was also that if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to take my portfolio and move around and ask people for work because I will move on to what I want to do. But it worked, luckily, and luckily after that everything went on.
Your career really, I mean, you came in as an action hero and you did a lot of films where you know, that was the USP when you came in. And then your career took a turn with, I think, if I'm not mistaken, with Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, where they, so when
Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, Zakham Pyar To Nahi Tha.
Zakham Pyar To Nahi. So these three films actually shifted and said that, oh no, he's a very good actor as well. When it happened, was it like conscious? Did you also feel that when you were doing those films? That here I'm doing something different from what I've done before, so I should work harder.
Yeah, but that is the time. No, I never felt that I have to work hard. That is the time also that I cut down on my work before that. You see, so automatically things fall into place. And I also felt that, I don't completely blame the audience for this, but I had this certain kind of, I've always performed in a certain manner, in the sense, trying to keep it very real. Acting as not acting. I mean, you should not feel that somebody's acting. At that point of time, people used to turn around and say, "Oh, he can't act because he's very poker face," or things like this. And if you see in Hollywood also that was happening, that they were, I mean, real performances should have been real. Audiences evolved. I've been performing the same way. Okay, I've grown, maybe. But that thought process of the audience also changed. So then they started believing that, okay, performance is all about being that character and not looking like, that you're acting. And that's what it is. So that's why people started talking about it in Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam or Pyar To Nahi Tha or Zakham. Zakham, I remember, I'll tell you, I felt so much while shooting for the film when I turned around and told Bhatt Saab that, because the way Bhatt Saab used to narrate also the scene, it was like, oh God, I mean, it used to really feel because that power was there in the script and the strength and the pain. I told him, I feel so much for this. Don't tell me what to do. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be there. Because I'm feeling it from inside. If it shows, it works. If it doesn't show, I'm really sorry. And Bhatt Saab is the only guy who could do this. He said, done. Just be yourself. Just be there. If you can feel it, I'm happy. And that's what happened. And then I got a national award for that. So you need the support of your directors also. You need to feel, you need that kind of script also to do good work. So it's not just when your work is appreciated, it's just not you, it's just the whole team.
True. To be as successful as you are in the business and to do the kind of successful movies that you have done, you have to take your profession seriously.
I really don't take my profession very seriously. But yes, I think you need some kind of guts, which I can openly say that today I feel I'm very lucky, not because of the success I have. I feel I'm very lucky that I can do films, whichever film I want to do. In the sense, I was the one to start from the commercial actors, to start doing films with the Prakash Jha and with the Govind Nilani. And in the 90s, nobody used to do that. Today, what you call good cinema and, which films are working today. I mean, I started doing that at that point of time. And not that they were all very, very successful. Like Ganga Jal was very successful. Takshak wasn't successful. Zakham did very well, got me a national award. So I learned a lot in the process. Eventually, when you reach a point, now also people turn around and say, you really need guts to do, at the stage you are and the image you have, you need guts to do a film like Drishyam. I like the way somebody put it, that if you turn around and look after the next 20 years, I mean, you have something about 10 to 12 cult films to talk about in your life. Which actor has that?
True.
They must be having super hits, but they don't have those cult films, which you can turn around and say, okay, that was a brilliant film.
But how do you choose your films? Like, what was your reaction when Bhatt came to you with a film like
It's very
Zakham?
strange. It's very instinctive, and your instincts can go wrong also. I was shooting in Hyderabad, and I was in the hotel, and I was having a shower, and I got a call, and the phone's in the bathroom. That time, I think mobiles were hardly there, so I picked up the phone and WhatsApp was on the line, and he told me 3 lines. He said, I'm making this film, which is my last film, A4-1, which is the closest to my heart. And I knew Bhatt very well. I'd worked with him. And I knew that when he's trying to con you and when he's
not.
Okay. Sorry, Bhatt, but that's a fact. In like 3 lines, he told me what he's making. And I said, I'm in a shower. Can I call you back? And he said, no, listen first. So I heard, and I said, now I have all soap. I'm doing the film, and I hung up. So that was the only conversation we had. It's basically instinct also. And sometimes you go wrong with your instinct also. Sometimes, and with me, the problem is that if I decide on doing a script because I like the script, because I have a way in my head that this film will turn out. And when I start shooting, after the first or second shot, I understand, okay, this is completely different from what I thought, and the director thinks completely differently. And that's where I give up.
How do you continue then if that happens?
That's the problem. But you have to continue. So you then have a lot of drinks in the night, you chill, you party, you have fun, you shoot. It's like this.
One of the biggest success stories of your team is Rohit Shetty, with whom you worked initially for a very long time. You did quite a few films with him.
A lot of them. I would say Milan Luthria did his first film with me, Rohit did, Anis Bhai did. So Prakashji jumped into commercial
with you.
through this. So I've always believed, when I believe in somebody, then I go ahead and I do it.
When you see that Rohit is now making a film with Shah Rukh and Kajal, how do you feel about it?
It's nice because when Rohit did Shah Rukh's first film also, the first thing he did was call me up and say that, this is what I've been offered, can I go ahead and do this? And I said, you must. Because, and Rohit also knew that I'm not the kind of person who would, say, okay, no, you have to stick here only or anything. I think everybody's allowed to work with whoever you want. And now that Kajal is doing that film, so I'm very happy because A4-1, Kajal and Shah Rukh, people are waiting for a film like this. And Kajal's also very happy about it.
So then when Rohit works with somebody like Shah Rukh, I'm mentioning Shah Rukh simply because the fact is that though you're reticent and all that, your so-called war with Shah Rukh has been spoken about so much. Is that the reason why he called you and said that, I'm going to do a film with Shah Rukh?
No, that's not the reason. I think he felt that he owed something to me, that he should tell me. It's not just because he's working with Shah Rukh, with any other actor, I would say.
What is your take on this whole thing about Shah Rukh? Recently, there were stories that you and he met in Bulgaria and even had a meal together.
Yes, we met. And, I keep turning around. People distort my statement. Like, I just read somewhere when they asked me your take on Shah Rukh and you met and all that. And I said, see, we are colleagues. We respect each other. I would not say are great friends because we don't meet on a daily basis, But we are always there for each other, and everybody in this industry. I think really, when somebody's in need, everybody will come for help. And headline was, "We are not friends." So you understand what is taken out of it, what is put. So that's wrong. So I think this whole blame goes on to creating these controversies because controversies sell and things like this. But where have you heard me or him in the past 15, 20 years talk ill about each other? Have we? I don't remember. He did. I don't remember. I did. So where is the point? I don't know. People create something in their heads and then they take it forward and they go on for 15, 20 years. Okay, if I'm saying if we had some issue also, something about 15, 20 years, we've all grown up, we've all moved on. I mean, who remembers what happened at that point of time,
When you read something like this, how do you respond to it?
I don't respond to it.
Because earlier I remember in the initial years you used to get very angry.
Initial years, yeah, we used to beat up people, as you know. We used to beat up journalists also. But no, we don't respond to it anymore. I mean, it does not really matter. I really feel that, they have to do their job, they're doing their job. and because there's so much of competition amongst them that they have to every night cook up something for the next morning. So it's fine. It's fair. It's just work.
So did you feel disappointed when during the Son of Sardar controversy, you had very little support from the people in the business?
I don't
It
expect
took you
support.
a while.
If I want, I don't expect support. I don't want support. I've never taken support and I don't even care about support. Okay? I do things on my conditions and I did it. And I did what my heart said. The only sad part is that yes, she was no more at that point of time, but before that, lot had happened which I couldn't back out, and it was really sad that that timing went very wrong. So apart from that, I don't regret anything. Everybody has the right. In fact, I made the statement also. I said during that time also. I mean, not that people said that during Son of Sardar you had a war with Shah Rukh and Adi and things like that. I said I didn't have a war with Shah Rukh. Shah Rukh did not say anything against me. I didn't say anything against him. Neither did Adi. Neither did I. It was a war between Son of Sardar and Jab Tak Hai Jaan. And everybody has the right to protect their own product or baby or whatever. They were doing the right thing for themselves. I was doing the right thing for myself. And after it got over, the film's release, both films worked. It got over. In fact, I sent a message also. I said, I have nothing personal against anybody. So it was just that it had to happen and it had to happen. It's sad it happened. But I mean, if the next time also something like this will happen, then it'll happen. I'm not saying that I'll back out this next time also. I mean, I think I'll fight harder.
What happens when the collateral damage in something like this is a relationship? Like, for instance, Kajal's relationship with Adi. That sort of...
I don't think that happened. I think they spoke, and I think Adi also sensible enough to understand that it was just work, and it was we were not harming each other. We were just protecting our own business product. I mean, they have put in money for a film. My investors have put in a lot of money for my film. How can I let down my investors also? So it's just part, and you should forget and move on. And that's what happened. They're fine together.
You haven't directed for a while, when actually you said that when you began your career, that was your dream actually to make
because I was too occupied and I needed time, and I wasn't getting that time. So now I've worked hard to get that time, and I'm starting Shiva. It's a very difficult film to make and very expensive where, the action and styling of the film is concerned.
What is it about you and expensive films? Why is it that you always choose films that are expensive to make?
Because you need to do something which people are not doing anymore or can't do in the industry. I think it's not about making money anymore. It's about doing films for your own satisfaction. And like after this film, I'm going to start Sons of Sardar, which is a very, very expensive film, in fact. And luckily, I have a lot of support because people believe in that script also. So it's a project where it's about Battle of Salagri. So it's 21 Sikhs who fought something about 14,000 Afghans and killed 1,400 of them, and all died. But it's something which is very heroic and which has not happened. It's like people compare it to the 300 because of 300 Spartans fighting thousands of this thing. And the scale is also that. I'm not working anymore for just doing work. It's like what I'm really excited about doing, I will do. So that's what I'm doing.
You and Kajal are completely different personalities. I've known both of you all for a very long time, Kajal much more than you. It's amazing that the two of you got together. How did that happen? Because she very clearly told me that the day she set eyes on you, she knew that this was the man for me. Did you feel the same about her?
I don't know. I don't think so, because it just so happened that, we started working together. We hardly spoke. And then gradually we kept working together and we became friends, and it grew more than that. And we didn't even realize it. There was never a point that one had to propose to the other. It was like it gradually fell into place. So it was a process, again, not planned and not thought of, and it just so-called happened.
And you also managed to work very well together for all these years, not only as co-actors, but even as companions to each other. You all, like she says that you are her closest friend. Do you feel the same about her?
Of course I do, and because we can tell each other whatever we want, and you see, the most important thing is we are ourselves. Usually, you're not yourself with your companion, and initially you try to be somebody else to woo your companion, and then after that job is done, you can't keep playing that game all your life. So then your true self comes out, and that is where you start realizing, oh God, there's a problem. She knows I'm a quiet person. I don't express too much of love or emotion or this. I keep to my own. She always knew that. Not that I used to do it earlier and I've stopped. So I have been myself, and she's also been herself always. So I think that is what has worked.
Is there any area of conflict at all between the two of y'all? Because as personalities, y'all are so different.
No, not really. Not really.
Not even when it comes to children. Like, are there areas where you
Sometimes,
feel that
yes.
you want to?
Sometimes, yes. I mean, sometimes my thought process is different, and she says I know what I'm doing with my children, and I get irritated. But then it's over in 5 minutes. It's just
So whose opinion prevails during that time?
Whoever's right, actually.
How do you decide that?
If you have a fight also, I think after 10-15 minutes, whoever's wrong comes up to the other person and says, sorry, I was upset and I was angry, but you're right, maybe. So it happens. There is no ego there.
Ajay, marriage and fatherhood changes a lot of people. I mean, they go through various stages of changing even during that time. What would you say has been like the most important change in you?
Become more responsible. It's like a very simple example. It's like if 20 years back, if I'm somewhere out of the country, I would go and shop for myself. And today I don't even think of shopping for myself. I mean, I first look for them. What should I? And I've forgotten to shop for myself also. And I don't even know how to do that anymore. So I mean, it's a very simple example, but that's how there's a big change in you.
What are the areas that you're really strict about? Because I know that Kajal is very strict as a parent on many, many issues. And what are your views on being a disciplinarian?
I'm not much of a disciplinarian. I know she's there to do that, so I spoil them basically. Yeah, but there is a limit. So, they really know that they need to respect people, whoever they are, maybe people who are working for us also. So all these little things I really take care of. Rest, I think, is handled by her.
But do you think that star children have a lot more chances of getting spoiled than the other because of the attention?
Yes, I totally agree. They do because they get a lot of attention from outside also. And that is where you decide that. And also depends how you balance it at home. I mean, I keep saying that whatever, having a big house, so many cars, and going for expensive holidays and things like this is all well and fine. But the bottom line is that you've come home so many times and you've seen that the atmosphere at my place is a very middle class family atmosphere. Mom, dad, us. So that's what makes all the difference. And they see how we treat our parents, and that's how they're going to treat us in future.
So Ajay, as a takeaway from this show, we always give a chance to all your fans to try and own something that you have. So what have you got for us today?
I didn't know what to get, but I just thought that I just got a very simple thing, which is a very simple T-shirt. And I've just got this because I realized that most of the time when I've worn this, it's been very lucky for me. Okay. So I think I would like to share my luck. Actually, not share my luck, but share the T-shirt.
Pass T-shirt with them. So you'll have to sign it for whoever's going to own it. What we'll do is we'll auction this on the website, and
all right,
fans can buy it over there, and the proceeds will go to charity.
That's cool.
So Ajay, I know you're very uncomfortable with pictures, but the signature thing of my show is the selfie. So this is the signature moment. You have to take a selfie.
Okay.
So now for a fun segment. You have to make 3 statements, Ajay, out of which 2 are true and 1 is a lie. And the viewers will have to guess which one is a lie.
The first one is, I met Kajal at a party. Second is, I cook very well. And third is, my name is Vishal. Actual name. So the fact is that first one is a lie. That I met Kajal at a party.
Where did you meet?
On the sets of Gundaraj. I think Gundaraj?
Yes, Gundaraj was the first one.
Or Halchal. Halchal.
Now for my quick 5 round. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You have to answer them as quickly as possible.
I hate this. Okay.
Which is one habit of Kajol that you'd like to change?
Talks too much.
Which is the one habit of yours that Kajol wants to change?
I think smoking.
When was the last time you said Atamaji Satakli?
I think last night.
Which is the one children's bedtime story that you know by heart?
I think I cook up a story every time we get into bed. Sometimes whenever I put them to sleep. So there's no particular one, but yeah, there's this two characters which I usually cook on the story because it's created by them only. It's created by my son. It's called Septombra and October. So these are the two characters he's created in his head, and then you make a new story around it.
And what is the secret of your recipe of the best martini that you make?
I'm not going to give you that. You can have a martini. You can come home and have a martini. I'm not giving you the recipe.
Recently, I read an interview where you said that I would not like to be in any film that I would not like my children to watch.
I said that I decided that during Rascals, and I think I'm a little misquoted here. Not that I said that my children would watch. I mean, they included the horror zone in it also. I have nothing against the horror zone film. If I get a fabulous script, I will definitely do it. Yes, vulgarity, I have a problem with, and I realized that when I did a film called Rascals, and that is the day I decided that I should not do a film like this ever. And the kind of response I got after that also, because I feel that whatever, how much ever, but I have this certain kind of image which has been created by Gangajals and Singhams and things like this, that they take you seriously. So they don't want to see you, and they can turn around and tell me, we don't expect this out of you. So that is the time I realized that I should not be doing something like this ever, and I'm very, very careful about that.
Didn't you get that kind of a response also to a film like Action Jackson?
It wasn't vulgar.
But Sorakshi Stack came to a lot of flack for the whole.
See, that is different, but it wasn't vulgar. I mean, I wouldn't say that that we did something which would be vulgar, or there was a lot of nudity or suggestive humor or anything of that sort, or double meaning dialogues. That all was not there. It didn't work is a different thing. And that also, day one, before we started shooting, I knew that this would happen. Is also because when we were going to just start the film, the script was all finalized, ready, and we just came to know that our script today, I can say it because the film was released, is similar, quite similar to Dhoom 3, which was releasing after 3 months. So we didn't want to do that. So we started reworking on the script, and by the time the set was put up, and the producers were friends of mine, and I tried to tell them that I delayed the film by 1 or 2 months more because I asked Prabhu to. So Prabhu was very confident that he'll rework on the script. But when things go wrong, then it's gone wrong. The reason why you had done the film, that motive is gone. Now you're doing the film just because you have to do the film. So I don't blame Prabhu for that, because he also last minute, I mean, how much would he be able to change and do things? So that's where the first draft was very nice, but it was similar to Dhoom 3.
Thank you, Ajay, for having such a lovely chat.
You're welcome.
I know it must have been difficult for you to do it on a Sunday.
No, it was fun. Actually, it wasn't so bad. It was fun.
In the 90s, when I used to come on the sets, there was a lot of pranks happening. First of all, you threw me into the pool when I'd come for the Pyar To Hona I started shooting.
Oh,
as soon as we arrived, yes, in Seychelles.
Click, Niranjan.
My first episode that I ever shot facing the camera was with Kajal.
Okay.
So here's a small gift from us.